All right, hi, this is Mike Doyne. I'm sorry I can't be with you today, but I'm glad to be able to present this information. I'm going to be giving this information in three different parts: parent conferences, part one, part two, title one, and part three, additional information. I want to also ask people to please sign in, and there will be an evaluation at the end that hopefully will work with your QR code reader, and maybe we'll have some paper evaluations for you today as well. So I want to start off our discussion today, just focusing our discussion on talking about the importance of parents. A child's academic success is greatly enhanced when teachers, staff members, and parents are partners in the process. As if we're all working together, all on the proverbial same page, will just make that much greater impact on our students' achievement. So with our conference coming up next Wednesday, and maybe you're already starting to have some, I wanted to talk about effective parent conferences. First of all, when setting up conferences, many of you have already sent home letters requesting conferences with parents. Of course, you want to follow up with a phone call just to confirm attendance. And then if you need someone who speaks the parent's language, feel free to seek out a Spanish or Vietnamese speaker, with those being our most common second languages here. And we have some others as well, but by far Spanish and then Vietnamese are our most common secondary languages. And I can help as well, either make the call myself or find somebody who can. The schedule that we have set up is not ideal, and there really isn't enough time in the day or the week or the year to meet with all the parents and give each parent enough time, really. But just wanted to emphasize the point that 15-minute conferences are not ideal, and also having two conferences at one time is not ideal. And you might want to give parents a heads up ahead of time that you'll just have to prioritize the discussion and not necessarily cover everything from A to Z about the child, but cover the most important things. You might need to schedule a follow-up conference just to make sure everything gets covered. Of course, when you're making a phone call home or meeting in person with a parent, it's always helpful to begin the conversation with something positive, to avoid putting the parent on the defensive and encouraging them to work with you as opposed to possibly against you. And also helpful to know the parent's last name and to call them by that last name when you meet them. Aware that, of course, that students and parents frequently have different last names. You want to be prepared, have some notes written down about what you want to cover during the conference, maybe a prioritized list in case you don't have time to get to everything. What do you want to communicate? Also, what are the action items here for both the student who is typically present at these conferences and also what the parent can do about it? And I think it's important not to overwhelm parents with giving them too many things to work on. When you consider all the kids they might have at home and everything else they might have to do, if you can just focus on one or two major concerns, that would be possibly more powerful. And then after you've gone over the concerns, definitely end the conversation on a positive note. Thank them for their support, mentioning that you all want the teachers, staff members, and of course parents want the child to succeed, and the importance of working together, and thanking them for their help. Some specific things to remember when you're conferencing with parents when you have an interpreter. You want to make sure you have an interpreter set up ahead of time, and I do have a Spanish interpreter scheduled for each team of teachers for at least our late day next Wednesday. We want to be careful not to use students as their own interpreter. We're not sure exactly what the message would be conveyed in those cases. And something important to remember that doesn't come naturally is when you have an interpreter present to help engage the parent in the conversation and to help establish that relationship. You want to face and direct the conversation to the parent, not the interpreter. And when you're speaking, make sure you don't give too much information for the interpreter to process and remember and then interpret. And when you're scheduling conferences, you remember you're going to need more time when an interpreter is present. When an interpreter is present, it just takes more time to deliver the information, of course. And then, as is the case for me, I understand a lot more information than I can give in Spanish. It's much easier in most cases for people to understand a second language than it is to that second language. So frequently the parents will understand what you're saying, but not be able to respond back in a way that they feel comfortable. And I should interject right now, there's those of you in the audience that know all of this, that have been through this, that could give this presentation themselves, but we have others that are newer to the parent-teacher conferences. So just wanted to acknowledge that as well. Moving on to Title I. This year at our county PIC meetings, we have been told that it is possible for the state to come in and audit our school by way of interviewing staff members about Title I and how the Title I program is delivered in our school. So with that being said, let me review some things about Title I. And I'm going to have to move off of this PowerPoint for a second. Let me go to the GCPS website for this. Here, if you can see this on the screen, I'll zoom in a little bit more. Title I is a federal program that provides funds to schools and districts based on the percentage of students qualifying for free or reduced price meals. The purpose is to ensure that all children have access to quality instruction and resources that will enable them to meet state academic standards. GCPS has 61 Title I schools. We're just adding, each of the 4 new schools added this year are all Title I. We have 11 Title I middle schools. And it mentions that each Title I school-wide program has a parent center, as we do, facilitated by certified teachers such as myself, and we have required workshops and trainings for parents. So going back to, again, that's the Gwinnett website. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. We have some documentation that's required of us coming out in October. And I will need help collating the documentation. And wanted to give a shout out to Coach Larkins and Ms. Mitchell for helping me, as well as some parents and student volunteers helping me collate the documentation last year. We'll have 6 things going home: the Title I Parent Handbook, Parent Involvement Policy, a Family Engagement Calendar of Events, the School Parent Compact, and cover page. I should have left out that word "and" there, and a parent receipt of documents. Let me highlight 2 of these. First of all, the compact cover page. The School Parent Compact is will be a brochure that goes home, and it outlines responsibilities of the school, the parents, and students. And the cover page is a document that that the teacher will sign, the student will sign, and the parent will sign 2 different times this year. And it just acknowledges that each party has read and understands the compact. So let me pull up the compact cover page. Here's the compact cover page. The reason I wanted to highlight this is because we need to get this back from each child's parents twice this year. In October, when we pass this out, we'll sign and date. The parent will sign and date. The student will sign. And then in the spring, at the second conference or visitation, when the compact is revisited, the signatures and dates again. Okay. We go to the parent receipt of Title I documents. Over to it here. Here's the parent receipt of Title I document. This is a document that when the parents sign it and write this information down here, they are acknowledging that they have received the Title I documents that they were supposed to. Those are the documents that I mentioned a couple screens ago. We will need to get these back from parents as well. So, we have, because of the importance of getting these documents back, we have some incentives in place to get this done. There will be a yearbook raffle for teachers who receive all of their compact cover pages and receipts of documents back by the first deadline. Miss Hamlet won the raffle last year. There were probably 15 teachers eligible for that. There will be a free yearbook given. That's what I mean by yearbook raffle. For students who return their documentation, just those 2 pages, back by the first deadline, sometime in October. I'll send out the date soon. All teachers who submit all of their documents on time by the first deadline will receive an award certificate that I'll ask Dr. Arthur or Mr. Carter to sign. Then the classroom who returns all of their documents the fastest each grade level will win a party. And I need to mention that Miss Gazelle was the fastest last year, but Miss Schneider was the fastest for the 3 previous years. And I think Miss Schneider might say, and I might tend to agree with her, she may have given Miss Gazelle a run for her money had she not been at a doctor's appointment, I believe, on the day that we distributed the documents last year. Let me mention some other resources that you might use to learn more about Title I and parent engagement. The Parent Center, also known as the Parent Instructional Support Center, or my office, I have several books about working with parents. The GADOE website, Georgia Department of Education website, let me just pull that up really quickly, has lots and lots of presentations about working with parents. A couple here are parent engagement strategies for implementation, bridging the gap between school and homeless families, middle school matters, recognizing the difference between parent influence and parent power, all kinds of things. There's probably 70 things here. And there's other resources as well at the GADOE website. I'll be sending out some emails and maybe posting some information about parent engagement. The Title I office has emphasized with us PICS that this staff development is ongoing. It's not just this one meeting. So please be on the lookout for that. Or if you have other helpful information you think the other staff members might want to share, feel free to send it to me, and I'll distribute it. And then we have the Title I annual parent meeting on September 29th, once in the morning, once in the evening, that Mr. Carter and I and some others, probably Dr. Arthur, will be at to talk about Title I with our parents and encourage any staff members who want to know more about Title I to attend those meetings. I believe they're at 9:30 in the morning and 6 p.m. in the afternoon on September the 29th. Okay. I've moved on to part 3 of 3, talking about phone numbers. You might know that the phone numbers in Pinpoint are not always accurate. So with that being said, the clinic card is where I go to get the most current, most accurate numbers. You can ask the student or ask me. I like a good challenge in trying to find a phone number. you have some outlets. I wouldn't just call, and if you don't get a call back, just say, oh, well, I can't get in touch with that parent. Please try again, or please let us help you. Check the clinic card as well. Wanted to mention we do have a school remind account where I'll send out reminders about important events, and also this is how if we have a cancellation, like last Thursday we had to cancel student activities after school because of weather. I sent a text message to all parents who had signed up, an English message and a Spanish message. I have flyers in the front, but it would help to encourage parents to sign up for this free text messaging service. And teachers can sign up for their own account if you'd like to communicate with your parents this way. We have many other methods of outreach that the school uses, including we have a Twitter feed, Facebook page, Instagram account. We do a bi-monthly hoof prints, email, newsletter, of course the school website. I'll send out emails periodically, like this one about tutoring last week. And we have a school auto dialer where if we want to send out phone messages, I'll send out phone messages to the whole school, or we can do targeted messages like to the Gear Up Academy. So let me know if you want to send out a phone message to your parents. I can help with that. Wanted to also mention the parent portal. Only 16% of our parents have activated their parent portal account. And only about half of those parents, less than half of those parents, have accessed their parent portal account in the last year. This is the lowest percentage in the county except for Give East, and it's actually lower than Give West. Even though 79% of our students have at least one parent with an email address in the system, and 72% of our parents have filled out the parent portal form. And one thing I think is the reason behind this is many parents rely on their children to show them their grades through my e-class, which is good, but parents have access to much more information through their parent portal, such as historical grades and test information, as well as discipline data. That's all I felt like I really needed to say today. Please contact me if you have questions. Also, please remember to sign in if you haven't done so. I want you to fill out this evaluation form. This is a QR code. If you have a QR reader, you can type in this website, or we should have some hard copies around. And then lastly, these are some resources I used, including some information I used from Cassie Milligan, a friend who's a PIC at Central Gwinnett High School. So thank you very much for your time and attention, and I look forward to supporting you, supporting parents and the students. Thank you very much.